Welcome to our first podcast episode of Witches Unmuted, from spirit to sound, where magic is found.
Where we have soulful, unfiltered, and wickedly funny witchy conversations. Brooms up!
Whoop, whoop.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It is the first day of Witchy Month, October 1st, which is super awesome. Woo woo!
Or boo boo.
Yeah. Oh, boo boo! Right. So yes, thank you and welcome. I'm not sure if you follow This Witch is Viral, but Catherine was on my latest episode, which was on September 17th, and kind of a bonus episode was on September 18th, the day after, in case you didn't know. And we announced that we were going to be doing this podcast called Witches Unmuted. So thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to spending the next little while here with you. So how are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm broomtastic.
Oh boy. Don't turn the channel! Oh my gosh. So we thought we would start this podcast episode with just kind of telling you a little bit about why we're doing this, and just kind of where we got the name of like Witches Unmuted. Catherine and I are both part of the, I guess you can call witchy, I don't know, community. Not to be like, I guess, you know, it's not like the woo-woo community. I don't want to say anything bad about anybody, but at the same time, like, yeah, I feel like we're pretty authentic and real, and we will be very unfiltered in our conversations. But so Catherine and I have been friends now for a while. We kind of alluded to that in This Witch is Viral, the last episode. But and we both kind of have always felt sort of like unseen and unheard, and that's part of the reason I started This Witch is Viral, is because I felt like I want to get my voice out there, and I feel like I deserve to be seen and heard. We have something in common there, right? So then we decided on, Witches Unmuted. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Because I feel that that was something that, as we've gotten to know each other better through our chats and growing our friendship, that we've all have our traumas and things that we experience, and I know certainly for me things of those feelings of unworthiness or unheard, or I'm also a very quiet person. So sometimes that might come out in here until I get more comfortable.
We'll get her more comfortable.
Yeah. But that was probably like part of the premise, so I wanted to participate in this podcast, because I'm trying to find my voice and trying to step out of my comfort zone, and and we both want to, as Nina said, talk about some of the work that we do, and some of the, as your favorite saying, the deeply human aspect of things.
Yes.
And
the small talk bullshit.
Yeah. Small talk stuff.
Yeah.
And
that is very difficult as you go on your spiritual journey, because it feels like small talk doesn't matter and you are deeply craving something deeper. I know that was kind of redundant there, but it's very true. Like, we've talked about this before. We both don't like small talk.
Nope.
We're gonna have some, I'm sure, and we still, like, even though we're witchy, we still have our little witchy and bitchy? No. Our bitchy little moments about the human
sessions?
stuff. Yeah, there you go. I know, oh shit, sorry, I'm ruining the set. Pardon me, I gotta put my knee up. But
yeah, to your point, like, 'cause we did talk about the small talk stuff, and sometimes, you're going out into social settings and people are like, you don't want to talk about, hey, how's the weather? Or like,
hey, like your grandfather's beside you in spirit, because, I'm a psychic medium, so I see a lot of shit. And, Catherine is a sound healer, so I guess you hear a lot of shit, I don't know. Or you make a lot of noise.
Yeah, my ears ring a lot when
Do they?
There's different things happening. Or
are you clairaudient?
I am.
You are clairaudient? That would make sense.
That's probably
actually.
the main one for sure.
Oh my gosh.
But I get a lot of song lyrics in my head, so usually, like, I could be thinking about something, or like, and all of a sudden, like, there'll be a song that pops into my head. Sometimes it's just the trailer line, so I actually gotta go look up the lyrics to the song to see if there's a message. But sometimes I even wake up in the middle of the night and it's like playing in my head, and I'm like, and then I can't get back to sleep because I'm like, okay, stop the song. I can't, let's reconvene.
Really? That's so interesting.
I talked to one of our other friends about that, and she's like, oh, it's the messages that you're getting is through song lyrics, and I thought that was pretty cool.
And that makes sense too as a sound healer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. Did you get like a lot of Bon Jovi lyrics, or?
Oh my gosh. You never
me.
fail to add Bon Jovi
me.
in this.
So she has this instrument, if you haven't been following, she has this instrument, and every time she strums it, it literally sounds like the beginning of like Wanted Dead or Alive. It's like doom 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 doom.
I don't hear it.
I hear it. Maybe there's a message in there for me.
But the interesting part that I had mentioned to you a couple of times is that when I've been thinking about you, or we're about to have a conversation, or I'm coming to meet you, I will turn on the radio and Bon Jovi's playing. Coincidence or synchronicity? What do you think?
That's true, right? Hey, sign everywhere's a sign.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh my goodness.
You just said. See, you just chose a song.
I did. I totally did. But yeah. So going back to, I guess, some kind of seriousness around this topic. Sure. No, but I mean, I resonate with that deeply. We've had these conversations of like not feeling, not feeling seen, not feeling heard, not feeling like you're enough. And I just really wanting to get my voice out there, because I feel like everybody is deserving to be seen, heard, and put their voice out there, right? And a lot of people don't do it. And I think part of this too is that there is a lot of like, I'm just going to say it. Fuck it. But there's a lot of woo-woo shit in this community, right? I don't know how many times people have looked at me and been like, oh, you're a psychic medium, and I'm like, yeah, and they just kind of roll their eyes, or I don't believe in that, or that's a scam, or that kind of stuff, right? So this is also a platform and an opportunity for us to, especially, I mean, maybe you have this too with sound healing, but to kind of like set the record straight in some regards with that, and hopefully kind of even educate a little bit on like, that there is like real aspects to this community, and then there's also a lot of like spiritual narcissism in this community that I found, not in our immediate community, thankfully, but and even saying community, it makes it sound culty. We're not culty, but yeah.
But I think part of why I like what you just said too is that sometimes when we're starting out on this path, we are more reserved, or sometimes we second guess what we're putting out because we're fearful of judgment.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you've experienced that as a psychic medium, but
yeah,
and you've been at this stuff longer than me, but even for me, like, it could be as simple as Facebook. Like I'm like, oh, I should post this, or like, talk about how, like, even other things we do, like we pull cards, or we do oracle or tarot, or use pendulums, or whatever the case, but it's almost like you only feel safe talking about this stuff with people that you know. Yeah,
and then finding the right safe community or people that to actually like, or to talk about it, it can be very difficult and a very lonely journey. I remember when I first started, I didn't know what the hell was happening, and that was also too when my like psychic mediumship abilities started coming out. I bought this house that we're sitting in right now, a castle. Obviously, you can see how no, it's not. But
we're in the library.
I wasn't sure if you. Yeah. Oh,
let me
get your book
of spells.
Let me pet. Spells. Where's the kitty? Let me pet the kitty. This is gonna go downhill very quickly. That's just kind of how I roll. But yeah, no, but you're right. Like starting out that spiritual journey and just kind of having that sort of awakening is it can be a very lonely path. And so I'm glad that we've found each other. It is kind of, I find, a lifelong path. It's not something that you just do and then stop, really. It's hard to explain unless you've kind of started walking that path, or you've been on that path, or you're into this kind of stuff. Which a lot of people aren't, and society has really very fear-based and very like judgmental and very like, you know, if you're not doing the same as everybody else and you're not in this, you know, fucking cookie cutter life or whatever, then you know, then you're laughed at or whatever. But
I think things are coming a little bit more
people are
online,
awakening,
more a little mainstream, or people are a little bit more open to it compared to, like, you know, historically. But I think finding other people, you know, such as yourself or some of our other friends that are part of that community, really that supportive nature is, you know, to keep going, to, you know, put ourselves out there. And I think that's part of what we want to accomplish through some of this podcasting too, is to talk about the misconceptions, or combine, you know, real day 3D, we'll call it Muggle World.
Yes, Muggle World.
And how it's incorporated into, or how we incorporate our stuff into everyday life too. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a really interesting thing for sure. And I don't know, it's really, I find with social media, it's kind of made it really easy for a lot of people that are not genuine and are not heart-centered to kind of come out and really like seriously scam people, or, you know, take people for a ride.
Well, I know for me, like, you know, when people are asking for recommendations, like, I wouldn't just recommend anyone, whether it's a psychic medium or a sound healer or any other modality. Like, I recommend the people that I know, I trust, and who are authentic. Like, you know, I've seen you in
oh yeah, we've done events,
and I've seen, like, some of our other friends, like, doing their modality, and, like, those are the people you're going to recommend.
Yeah,
but to
absolutely.
your point, like, especially TikTok, like,
Holy
there's
God.
so many people coming on there, and, like, as soon as I get on that algorithm, you know, even for my sign, Capricorn, like, if I watch something Capricorn, all of a sudden everybody pops up on my feed and they're pulling cards, or I have a message for Capricorn, and it's just, of course, you know, but you have to take it with a grain of salt. Like, I think part of it, people, because even through my teachings, I experienced, like, not everyone can be a psychic medium, but everyone can develop psychic abilities, right?
Yeah, and everybody has the ability to be able to connect with their own spirit team, and I do coaching as well, and I think, like, when you're looking for kind of the difference between who's real and who's not, is like things like you said, like you go based on referrals. So you've seen these people, or you've heard good things and they've been referred by other people, and so on. There's also, I find people too that if people are charging like $8 million for a reading, that's usually a red flag, I find, in my opinion, because it's like there's no need for that. Like, you know, at that point, people are not doing it for the right reasons, I don't find, and I don't care how big you are and who the hell you are. I don't know, what are other...
But I've also seen some people have a line of ethics where, like, you know, we start the reading, or you start a reading, or these other people start a reading, if you can't make a connection, or you can't bring anybody through, or the questions are not resonating, and that person says, like, I'm not feeling it, then it's like, you know what, I'm not charging you, I'm stopping, I'm going to give you your refund or whatever, as long as it's not, like, after the whole thing's done. That's not fair.
Because there's never guarantees about what people in spirit, or like what people come through, but there's always, like, there should be some sort of, some kind of connection, so somebody comes through. But as a medium, and this is kind of one of the shittiest parts of my job, is like, I can't guarantee who comes through, and, you know, if the person doesn't come through, then I will say that they're not coming through.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's authentic.
Yeah.
And you're not just trying to, like, you know, read them and, like, give them sort of generic messages to make them feel good or whatever. You're trying to be authentic.
Although I'd love to, but I don't do that. I'm too...
No, but that's what you kind of hear about some of the people who are just in it to make money or make it a gimmick, right? You don't... That's part of the misconceptions, right? Because... And why you only offer up people or recommendations of people that you trust, because there are, you know, you can go to a fair or something and somebody's got a tent with a crystal
Mm-hmm.
ball or something.
Like this one?
Like this one. But this one's good.
And it's also not real crystal. Does that make a difference?
It's glass, right?
I have my ghost here for October 1st. Woo! Woo!
Some people just want to take your money,
Oh no,
right?
boo boo!
Boop, boop. Boop, boop.
Sorry, you're serious.
No worries.
No, but it's true. So, and then, yeah, so those are some major red flags in my business for sure. So what would be some kind of red flags in yours? Or things that maybe you've experienced that don't feel right?
I think right now, again, with the social media plugs that, I know we were talking about this a bit earlier when I first chose or was led to my modality. There, sound and vibration it's sort of becoming a lot more mainstream, even though it's not new. It was present historically, but I find when I see those videos online, people have white flowy outfits on, or like tiaras, or
And
special
are they called,
special
like...
mood. But it's creating a fantastical kind of environment, and even though it's pleasing to the eye, it's not necessarily realistic. And I think somebody will see somebody playing like even a set of crystal bowls, and they're like, oh, I love that. And it's not to deter anybody from getting into it, but to go and take a weekend course, and then buy yourself a set of bowls off of Amazon, and then start conducting sound baths and calling yourself a sound healer. It's hard, and it's the same like you were saying with your business, is that people can't differentiate because they'll just see people advertising.
Oh, it drives me crazy.
A sound bath or something, and it's just like, it's enticing based on wording or however they get. And I've had people tell me like, I come to yours because I've enjoyed it more, or it's not. I've experienced ones where I've gone and there's no, people are just clanging and banging stuff, like tapping bowls here, like there's just doesn't make any sense. You can actually injure people with sound and vibration the same way as it is healing. Not every sound or how you play it is going to be good for you. Like if you take it into the real world, and I thought this was something cool, is like when we talk about collective energy, and like our diet shouldn't always be like what we just eat. It's what we consume, what we read, what we listen to.
Yeah.
Like I've changed.
Who we're sleeping with?
Oh my god.
Right? Well, I mean, they're toxic peen or whatever. However you go.
I'll have to tell you about
the toxic peen.
No, but did you know that when you sleep with people that you take on 7 years of all their trauma of past?
Is that what the fuck's happened?
All of trauma of all past partners.
Really? Hopefully you don't get stuff from other, hopefully that's the only thing that's passed on by past partners is where I'm going with this.
What was it I read? That it takes 7 years to clear.
Can't you just never mind. That's a whole other podcast.
That's another episode.
Yeah, no kidding. Things are getting, what did we say, spiritually spicy up in the house.
Spicy.
But again, you're being woohoo, woo woo. I don't. Okay, that looked bad, but anyway.
But I just wanted to finish that thought.
Sorry,
is that the last thought I wanted to say is when people listen to like angry music, or very like punk stuff, and it's not that it can't be entertainment wise, but if you think about, I've had this conversation with other people that you listen to that music and then they actually reflect on it. It's like, wow, like sometimes music changes your mood, right? So you also take on that kind of collective energy. The same way as when people watch horror movies or things like that. Right?
Makes sense, right? Totally. That makes a lot of sense.
But yeah, the sound and vibration affects our body. So it's thinking about what kind of music and what kind of things that you're including in your, we'll call it your etheric body kind of diet.
Well, and I mean, it's the same thing with psychic mediumship stuff. Like I've heard of clients have come to me and been like, oh, the last psychic told me this. They said that, I was going to die at, 45, getting hit by a bus. I'm like, pardon me? No, you don't ever give bad information like that. And also, what the hell? Like that didn't, like I know somebody personally that was told by a psychic that they were going to pass at 72 from a car accident, and this has dogged this person for their whole entire life. And like to the point of like crying about it's a responsibility that we have, I find, and I don't think everybody gets that.
Not everyone can digest or process the information that you guys are giving people in the same way. There are people who might be able to handle that kind of information, but you can't tell that.
Well, and ethically speaking, the way that I was trained anyways is like you don't give info like that. And I always say too, when I do my readings, I'm not a doctor, so if people ask me medical questions, I never diagnose ever, because who the hell am I to do something like that, right? Like I stay in my lane. Yeah. So, but some people don't, and that's something that really drives me crazy, because it's morally, ethically not okay.
And I think you've said before too that you just find, if you're being pressured to give a certain message, that you find a more, roundabout way or a better way of presenting the information as opposed to being...
Yeah, like, and I'll give you an example. I did a reading for a woman probably about 1.5 years now ago, and she asked me about her body. She said she wasn't feeling good. And so, again, I don't diagnose. I always say I'm not a doctor. I said, however, I do tune into energy. I can tune into her body. She was even giving me permission to do that, and I definitely felt like it was very wonky. There was something going on. So I said to her, something I agree doesn't feel right. I said, and you're being encouraged to go from spirit, go see your doctor. So she did, and she was actually diagnosed with cancer. But because she listened to me, which not everybody does, and that's okay. We all have our own. I wasn't, but yeah, not you, but just in general.
No, I get
but because she did, they were able to catch the cancer early, and she had a full recovery. And it was really kind of neat because her daughters came to me about 6 months after that and just thanked me and got their own readings. So I mean, that was pretty cool. That was definitely a highlight of my career, I guess you could say. But again, we do this, if you do things for the right reasons and you do this for your soul and for your heart and really with good intentions, like I don't think you can fail at that, right? So, but yeah, so any more to add to that conversation?
No, I think that's these conversations obviously are, just scratching the surface on
absolutely
different things, and we could definitely...
Sorry, I'm poking you with my
go down the rabbit.
I'm trying to, I don't know how to like hold it like a baby. Like I can't put it like this because it looks really bad. We're gonna get canceled. So like, I don't know. Woo! Okay, go ahead.
Let me dust you off.
Yeah, there you go.
I think we could deep dive into any of these things, but
and we plan to deep dive into a heck of a lot of stuff in coming episodes. But I think for today we're gonna wrap it up.
And I was just gonna say too, like once we get going, if there's anybody that's watching our podcast that you like a particular topic and you want us to deep dive something on a little bit more, then we'll take that into consideration.
Yeah,
for sure.
Or any questions about our kind of, I hate calling it a business, but what we do spiritually, so sound healing, psychic mediumship stuff. We do plan to do quite a few things moving forward, so hopefully stay tuned. We plan on, I plan on doing some readings. We plan on maybe visiting some haunted things, like my house, because it's haunted as fuck.
Or the guy that lives in my shed.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's fun. I like that guy. He's a riot. Anyways, and even some reviews on some places we may end up. The sky's the limit, right?
We've been brainstorming for months on a lot of topics and ideas that have really sparked our interest. So we hope you do stay tuned, because we're gonna have some as you said, deeply human conversations. We're gonna have some spicy conversations, some soulful ones, and the unhinged ones.
Oh yeah, definitely unhinged. If you've seen This Witch is Viral at all, and I know some of you have, then that just it's par for the course. It comes with it.
Even got slightly unhinged today.
I think we might have, but that's the fun part, right?
Exactly.
You know? So anyways, we'll wrap it up then today. We hope to see you again on our next episode. It's going to be on Wednesday, October 29th, right before Halloween.
Boop, boop.
Boo boo.
Boop, boop.
I do want to also say you can find us on Instagram at Witches Unmuted. You can find us on YouTube, which chances are if you're watching this, you're watching through YouTube or Spotify. Yeah, so thank you so much for stirring the cauldron with us today. That's all we got, eh?
Absolutely.
Brooms up! Woo-woo! All right, let's find that record and stop this shit show. No.